In today's Chicago Marathon training update, I am taking you guys behind what a full week of workouts looks like as I'm building towards my 2:55 marathon goal. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Juliana and I am a marathoner and runner, and this channel is all about how I balance my training while growing my startup and working a full-time 9-to-5 corporate job. So if you're interested in following along with my journey, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video if you like the video. So without further ado, let's hop into what my workouts were this week and all of the feels. Okay, so before we actually dive into what my training looked like for the week, I want to talk about the workout that I had leading into this week, which was on Sunday. So on Sunday, I had a 20-mile long run that had some marathon pace work in there, and it was extremely traumatic because in the mornings here, it's 78 degrees at the coolest, and the dew point is typically around 76 degrees. So it is very, very difficult to go anywhere near pacing for these long runs. And obviously when you're marathon training, you do want to practice a lot of your long runs, especially if you're a bit more advanced at marathon pace. And that is just a gross abbreviation of what you should be doing with your training, but I do plan on making an entire video about how I approach my marathon training, especially since I don't work with a coach anymore. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you do want to see that content when it comes out. But basically, running marathon pace here and anywhere where it's very, very hot, you have to adjust. And you can also check out my video that I have about how to adjust your training when you are marathon training in the summer. But effectively, this workout took so much out of me. I did hit sub 3 paces for pretty much most of the sets that I was doing, so that was good. But again, my marathon goal is 2:55 and 6:40 pace. So basically, I was going into this week with trauma because I just died during that workout. I was sweating buckets. It was traumatic. Yesterday, I had an insanely difficult long run, so I'm really struggling today. It's quite hot, I'm sweating so much. My heart rate is so high, and I'm going like 9:30 pace, so. Okay, so I just got back from doing my 6-mile run. This was my slowest run in a very, very long time, but it was nice to just get out there and go super easy and enjoy the ride. So that's what I did. Maybe I'll do a double later. I think that's what my plan that I'm mostly following calls for, but we'll have to see about that because I'm dying, as you can see, at 9:30 pace. This is how sweaty I am. Ugh. Good morning. It is almost 6 a.m. I am still clearly not ready for my run. It's insanely hot and humid out. We stayed up a little late last night because Calvin was getting home late from a trip. So I'm just so beat. Today I only have 10 miles easy only, but it's definitely going to feel really challenging. And I can already see the humidity outside for how hot it is. So I'm just going to try to chug this coffee and get through it. Oh my gosh, that was one of the most difficult runs in the training block so far. It was just 10 miles easy, so I don't know why it felt so awful. Probably because it's like not even 8 a.m. and it's like 83 degrees and 76 dew point, but I'm just profusely sweating. Every single part of my body was completely soaked through. My shorts, it feels like I'm wearing a diaper because of how wet they are, and just my whole body. This is really tough. I was really struggling mentally today, and I got myself out of it a little bit, but I just kept going back there, and it was pretty rough. It's the sweat situation.
The poor girl looks like she was dumped in the baths of hell.
For some reason on Tuesday, I was just in a very dark place. I was struggling mentally, I was struggling physically, I was doing all of the things that I talk about in my summer running video to combat the heat, and it was still a slog. I almost cried around mile 4. I was questioning my existence, and I just wanted to talk about that for a second because I think on social media a lot of the time people just post kind of the highlights of their running and what that's like, and it kind of romanticizes the sport, when in reality there are a lot of us that sometimes face very dark days when we lace up our shoes and we head out the door, and that's just the reality of it. And I just want to let you know that I do have those days, and Tuesday was one of those days. It was just hard. And especially with the heat, if you're someone that struggles with the heat, I really feel for you, because this has been a record-breaking hot summer, and it is hard to get out there every single day when you know no matter what pace, it is pain. So just know that your race or whatever you're training for, or hopefully wherever you are in the world, that this will be over soon and the heat will go away, and then we can enjoy the cooler aspect of life.
Good morning. Another day of marathon training up on deck. So today I have a speed workout, which was supposed to be some sort of lactate threshold workout. And normally when you live in a normal place that is not as hot as Florida, if you have lactate threshold work that is all continuous, you can totally do it all continuous. Here, I kind of just wake up and decide morning of how I'm going to break up the lactate threshold workout. So today, I think I'm supposed to do maybe 5 or 6 miles at lactate threshold. Lately, what I've been doing in this marathon training cycle so far is that I've been doing them as mile repeats more or less, but I'll only take a couple minutes of rest in between each rep. But it's 77 degrees and the dew point is only 75. So not too bad. Oh, actually just dropped to 74. I just checked a couple minutes ago, it was 75. Okay. I'm going to do my warm-up inside because it's quite humid out, but I don't really do anything fancy. I just do these dynamic stretches. I should probably do more like foam rolling and, whatever, but maybe some drills, but I honestly just want to get out the door as quickly as possible so I can avoid the heat. So that's kind of what I do. I feel like I'm kind of regretting this decision to run outside instead of going on the treadmill. Current situation, dying. It's literally wild that for the Chicago Marathon last year, I ran my last 3 miles of the marathon faster than all those repeats. And this was so much more difficult. Okay, I was supposed to do 6 of those, but I ended up only doing 5 because I truly feel like I'm gonna die. I never stop, full stop during my runs, but I'm like dying. It's ridiculously hot out. That was violating.
Squishy squish.
That was really rough. So I was supposed to do like 6 miles at lactate threshold and take, 2 to 3 minute break in between. My first one, I went out way too fast. I went out 6:15, and I think what my actual lactate threshold pace is on a day when it's not really, really humid out is around 6:20. So the fact that I went 6:15 for the first mile in this weather was stupid. So that kind of just like put me over the edge. I think I need to dial it back next time, go a little bit slower so I can sustain the whole effort throughout. So all I can really do is go by effort and go by feel. So that's what I'm doing.
So after my abusive lactate threshold workout in the morning, I went to the gym in the afternoon so I could get in my lift. And I'm going to go over exactly what I do in my lifts later on in this video, so make sure to stick around for that. Good morning. I'm so tired. I keep forgetting that I need to film this in the morning since I'm doing this weekly vlog, so I almost did not film this before I headed out, but today I am just going to do 8 miles easy, and I'm exhausted and I'm almost done with my first cup of coffee and debating if I have a second or if I just head out. It's always a fine balance here in Florida because the faster you head out, the better it is, so you can avoid the sun as much as possible. So it's actually starting to get pretty dark again in the morning, so I should be wearing my little vest light up contraption, but it wasn't charged this morning and you could kind of see that the sun was already coming up, so I opted to just run in the dark for 10 minutes while I waited for the first light. But it was a beautiful run along the beach road as usual, and I just really enjoyed it, but I was pretty sore from my workout yesterday and then also the lift. Good morning. So we have another exciting day of training today. It is Friday, thank God. I've been so exhausted all week just with work stuff and life stressors and just not getting a ton of sleep. So I slept in 30 extra minutes this morning, so I feel like I really needed that. But anyway, today I have 15 miles easy, so I am making myself a little bit of a heartier breakfast. And then I actually ended up running on the treadmill because it kept raining off and on, and I just didn't want to be caught in pouring rain. So for my lifts, typically what I do is I'll start off with a little bit of a warm-up, so that usually involves some sort of band walk, maybe some bridges, and then I'll get into squats and then some sort of single leg exercise. After that, I do some sort of full body / upper body type of exercise, so maybe some pull-ups or chin-ups, push-ups, maybe dips, a little bit of more single leg movements, and I can definitely do a video where I outline my strength training routine in detail, but this is something that I've developed with my physical therapist and a routine that works for me, and I usually just do a full body lift twice a week, and that has seemed to be good enough for now, knock on wood, to prevent injuries and make sure that I stay strong. Good morning. So if you are marathon training, sleeping in on the weekends is definitely not in the itinerary. So today is no different. I'm waking up at 5 a.m. as usual. I'm heading out to my group run at 6 along the beach road. I am planning on running with my friend. We're going to go super slow, take it easy, because tomorrow I've got a big 20 to 22 miler. So yeah, it's supposed to start raining now, so we'll see how that ends up going. But anyway, I better go get ready, otherwise I'm going to be late as usual. I'm always like pulling into the parking lot and almost running people over, so I'm going to try to not do that today. Okay, so when I filmed this, I was very convinced that I was taking the best footage of all time, and clearly all I was doing was just wasting energy holding up my arm with the tiny camera looking like an idiot. So, sorry about that. But thankfully, I was able to have the wherewithal to actually record my entire core workout routine, so you can see that here, and I apologize for my abhorrent form in several of these exercises, but I hope you enjoy how much I love Nathan and Seth's company as they snuggle up with me and help me complete my workout.
Okay, so I am currently on my way to go to a park to get in my long run. It's just an easy 20 to 22 miles today. I'll see how I'm feeling, but I'm meeting up with some friends to run, so that'll be nice to have a little bit of company. But yeah, I'm excited. It's a little bit cooler than usual today, but it's still pretty hot and humid. So I'm just glad it's not super sunny, and we might get a little bit of rain, which would be nice, so we can cool off a little bit. On mile 13 of 20, I'm only gonna do 20 instead of 22 today, because that'll put me at just under 3 hours. We are out here in swamp country for sure. It's hot, but I've got 2 to 3 miles left. We'll see where this trail takes me. So that 20-mile run was really awesome. It was just relaxing, chill. I got to hang out with my friends, and I even saw a bobcat at the end of the run. It may have been a Florida panther, still unclear. I was very delirious and almost dead at the end of that run. But anyway, there was some sort of wild cat creature that I saw that was a little alarming, but I just ran away. So anyway, that concludes today's training update and my marathon training vlog for this week. So hopefully you guys found this interesting. And if you have any suggestions on any other content that you would like to see, please make sure to leave it down in the comments below. But for now, check out this video to get some more running tips.